Giga Semi factory is going up quick. We saw the quarterly earnings call where the Semi was at least partially discussed. It's part of the roadmap. It's in the planning. It is ongoing and it is being built. We can see it happening. Is this going to slow things down with the trade war? Probably not, but we shall see. If we're going to talk all things Giga iOS, we're going to talk with Mark from the Tesla Life, who is one of the three amazing hosts of the Tesla Life podcast that comes out every week, the Tesla Life show with Patrick and Casey. I got my good buddy Mark here. We're going to have a chat about it. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futurasa. Oh my gosh, what a week. So we are recording this a few hours after the earnings call, for which I was awake for none of it. I was there for the part before it. I set my alarm for 3 a.m. I was online and streaming at 3:30 a.m. But my skills for remaining awake are limited by human capacity, so I had to go back to sleep.
Well, I will let you know, Brian, that it wasn't any big thrill on the earnings call. So, as you probably have guessed from the fanfare that we've seen after, it was kind of a miss. Not surprising based on what we had seen the lead up, but a little bit disappointing.
Yeah. Well, if we're going to get away from disappointment, why don't we go talk about appointment? We've got this. What is going on with this title? I think I have a theory that it is possible. So if we look here, we see this week's thumbnail is Great Wall of Semi. I feel seen. Because, I don't know.
Looks like we've got a spelling mistake in the title.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh, Semil. Great Wall of Semil. I didn't even see that. That's funny. It does. That's a typo. Anyway, I smacked the thumbs up because that is what good citizens of the web do. This video also eligible for thumbs. Smack them, won't you?
Interesting how they've got those gray doors with the similar shape with the gray to the above windows. So you've kind of got that tram look for the lower painting as well.
Sure, I can see that. Yeah, it does look like an illustration of an elevated bullet train, really.
Yeah.
You can see this is a ton of rebar. The amount of concrete they're going to bring in is going to be substantial. There's a flag there hanging in the non-distressed manner. The roof is getting all of its materials finalized, if it ever loads.
Skylight's still going in.
Yeah. And then when we get over to, this is the rendering of what the building would look like. But here we see the actual steel going up over the stamping pit.
Yeah. Now it looks like we've got now a second wall, an inside wall that's just as high as the outside wall.
That's we call that a Semil.
Oh, that was my mistake. I didn't know the video was correct.
If you're watching, Zane, we love you. But I'm very tired and a little punchy. Not all my jokes can land. Do check out Zangler's video. As I've mentioned before, the reason I don't play the video is because I want you to go watch it. We're just discussing the findings. Yeah, and you can see, boy, that the pit is getting closed off. It still has a lot of work to be done.
Yeah.
We should discuss real quick, what impact, if any, do you think the tariffs will have on the Semi? Is the Semi even in any significant part built with imported goods? We'll start by saying from China.
Yeah, I'm sure there are some parts. But I believe that, like their other cars, Tesla has tried to isolate the factories to the region that they're in. So even in Shanghai, they're pulling mostly parts around Shanghai. In Texas, same thing. And I got to believe Nevada is trying to pull the majority of parts from North America or the United States.
That is 100% my understanding. I would say that if this was just a concern with tariff rates from China, no problem. Get the parts somewhere else. We're not looking at getting parts in the next few days or weeks, but months or longer, which means we've got time to secure other sources. My bigger concern is what you also said, North America.
Yep.
Under the USMCA, North American parts were U.S. parts, and now they are not. That deal was ripped up, and a lot of the supply chain is designed to cross the borders.
Yeah, and that's going to make it difficult for Tesla to confirm that everything is of U.S. origin. And if it's not, the replacement of it is going to give them a bit of a scramble to try to figure out where they could get it from a U.S. supplier.
Or the cost rises significantly.
Yeah.
Now, the biggest cost on these semis is the battery, not even close. So we would need to, worry more about that.
Yeah.
It'd be So it's, are all of the parts going to be for the battery able to be sourced within just the U.S., not just the U.S. and Canada?
Let's also keep in mind that they're not in full production. So they're producing just a handful of these vehicles at this time, and they can probably eat the inflated costs of certain parts for some time until until production really picks up, and it would hurt them. So I believe they've got some time to play with too.
Yes, the U.S. doesn't make much lithium, doesn't make much graphene, doesn't make a lot of the things that go into batteries. But, I mean, the lithium refinery in Corpus Christi is operational. That's something. So, of course, if we're going to discuss this, we need to do this part. Of course, we're sharing that. And here you go. Now, so a question here is, seriously unimpressed with what Tesla is offering with the rear-wheel drive Cybertruck. Can't imagine people wanting to pay so much for so little. A stripped-down dual motor with manual bed cover and outlets in the back might sell for $10,000 off, but a bare-bones rear drive? No way would I buy one. Thoughts?
You were making this comment last week, Brian, and that's absolutely correct. They've cut an awful lot from that truck, and I think their goal is to make the all-wheel drive two-motor truck look more respectable and maybe sell more of them by saying this bare bones one is just $10,000 off, and you really don't get much with it based on what the Cybertruck used to be or currently is in a two-motor version.
Yes. The single motor version was supposed to have much less range than the one that's currently offered, but that is the only metric on which it beats. Oh, it does have rear steer, so I guess it beats on those two metrics. But $30,000 over the expected price for those two features. And by the way, we're going to cut all the other things. It's a weird, I'd say, value proposition, but I throw up a little in my mouth saying value on in the description of that truck. Now, I live in Anchorage, and the dirt they spread coats the cars until they clean up the roads later in the spring. As an Uber driver, I have to clean my rear camera 2 or 3 times a day just to use my backup camera because it gets plastered with muddy spray. How's Tesla going to deal with that on a robotaxi?
They're not going to deploy them in Anchorage, starting with...
That's my answer as well.
But he's correct. There are places where it's extremely dirty, if not all the time, in some cases. So Tesla's going to have to find a solution to this. If this is going to be a little wiper, if this is going to be a better material on the camera, It's real difficult to get sticky dirt, though, to leave the camera without some sort of a wiper arm or something that can, or a spray that can coat that camera, because that lens is going to get dirty in certain situations, and it's not just going to go away. Someone's going to have to intervene physically, or they're going to have to get a spray to work.
I agree completely. I think that you could, as an extreme fix, have the car scheduled to pop into the depot 3 times a day for a camera cleaning.
Wow.
But when it comes to, I mean, right, that's crazy, but it's an extreme fix. If you have to see, you have to see. I don't know how you fix the ability to see out the side windows in the same case, except that you can see through a large piece of glass that's dirty better than a small one that's dirty, because, you know, the percentage of coverage, I guess. But I would say that there is no hydrophobic coating that's going to make it so that those cameras never need cleaning in the winter. It is a daunting task. Is Tesla putting a limit on how many times you can access the car with the app before we have to pay more? Well, I mean, short answer I'm going to go with is no. But we've seen Volkswagen put up a menu this week. I don't know if you saw it.
I did not.
Of all the things you can pay extra for, and it's outrageous. You could subscribe. Oh, Mark, you would not believe there's like 10 items on there. I want to say like keyless entry is even one of them. It's outrageous. And somebody had pointed out that, well, this might be because for certain programs to get the purchase price low enough to qualify for something, you would have to pull shenanigans. So I just don't know. But my guess is no. Tesla's been awfully good about giving you more stuff rather than taking it away. If it was in China, would it be an iWest factory or an iEast factory for East? I'll allow it.
Good call, Utah.
I'll allow it. 180-degree front bumper cam? Brilliant. I need one of those. I have a car with no cameras, and driving the city drives me crazy when I try and nose out into traffic.
This is a common thing. With people nosing into traffic, not being able to see quite around sitting back in the vehicle. And if the camera's sitting back, it's going to get the same view as a person. So yeah, having that forward set camera certainly can be an asset.
Elon has famously said, well, we drive with just 2 cameras. Having more cameras is better. And cameras alone is enough because we have just vision. And while I can concede that argument does make sense, at the same time, we have our head on a swivel, and we're able to, like, if there's debris in the windshield, we can like peek around it. And that extra bumper camera, I think, was a good addition, because what I lack is supervision. And I know, because everyone tells me, that what I could really benefit from is adult supervision. A Citation? Brian, I thought you drove a Tesla. Ah, yes, the Chevy Citation. That was boy, if you like disappointment, that was...
that was your car.
I had a friend who had one. It was always breaking down. With tariffs, all the timelines will be pushed back, most likely to next year. Sad. Now, and this is what we had addressed. There was a story that came out saying, with all these tariffs, Cybercab and Semi parts have been canceled. Well, that sounds like information you got from a supplier or a distributor. No, they're just sourcing them somewhere else. Cybercab is going to be released in numbers so limited that they could manufacture the parts in-house one by one and still release on time. And for scale production, they've got time. And it's not critical components. It's not the motor. It's not, a part you can't get somewhere else. It's not the chips that are missing.
Yeah.
So it's not like Ford, where the inability to source blue ovals literally made them park F-150s in fields o' grass in order to wait for them. Which is crazy because I'd pay more to get a truck without a Ford emblem. Imagine the low-end Cybertruck, $49,900, less the EV incentive. That'd be 250,000 trucks. What do you think?
Yeah, if they could get the price that low and have the incentive on top of it, you could sell a lot of trucks. Absolutely.
My concern is this is not an exoskeleton. So it's got redundant structures. It's got redundant costs. So you've got almost all the expense of the exoskeleton that was intended, plus the cost and weight of a frame underneath. It was a great idea, but I did always wonder how those delicate little, roof lines were going to have the structural integrity to form the triangle. And we got an answer.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't. They don't. What you doing in China? Glad you're still there making content while you're away. It's a fine question. What am I doing here? Have I already been here a week? Because I noticed that last week I was here. So I've been here a while. I'm making content. I'm making tons. I've been to 14, 15 different showrooms now.
But how many have you been thrown out of?
One. And you wouldn't even believe which one. Wuling Mini.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Wuling Mini.
Wow.
I don't know why, but the people that I was rolling with decided, let's go up and ask for hard permission to shoot in here. And I was like, why would you do that? Just shoot. You just shoot, man. And then every place we went after that, they were like, ask for permission. I'm like, what are you doing? You got to.
You're killing me, man.
Don't. You are killing me. If they don't want me to shoot, they need to muster the courage to come over and interrupt me. And Wuling declined. They're like, nope. And we're like, well, could you ask someone? Nope. Too busy prepping for the auto show. It's a no. So that was great. So then later when I was with them, they're like, you have to ask permission first. I softened it down to, I'm just going to record this real quick. Okay. Sure. There we go. Now let's not involve paperwork and stuff, I was going to comment and add something really brilliant to match you two intellectuals, but I couldn't think of anything. So unfortunately, I won't be commenting this week. So sorry. Brian, could you bring me back some fried rice? Mark, I think you can answer that for me.
No, Jamie, they can't bring back some fried rice.
No, they're out. I asked at the store. They didn't have any. So it happens. Guys, a little loosey-goosey this week. I will be back in studio next week. These journeys are quite tiring, but it's a lot of fun. And I appreciate all of you who support on Patreon, on YouTube as a channel member, on X as a subscriber, or use the one-time PayPal donate link. All of those are fantastic ways to support the mission. But what I really need is for you to subscribe, because there is a shift in the algorithm when you hit 100,000 where it just gets easier. It took Herbert a few years to get to 100,000, and once he did, the algorithm pushed him quickly to 111,000. Yes, he's picked up more subscribers in the last month and a half than I've picked up all year. And it's because YouTube will actually show his video to people. And I need your help with that. So you can you can subscribe, you can donate if you'd like, if you're able. And what you can also do is when you're tired of doing all that, head over to Mark's channel, see what the Tesla life is all about. They cover things other than Tesla. They cover all kinds of topics, EV, renewable energy related. It's a lot of fun. And everybody else, stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots when I'm back in the States.